Stacking Surfer. The life topic, I'm your best friend. Balances in your bank and stack. What's up, everybody? Stacking Surfer here. I've got a great guest today. Over to my side here, this is Sean, Precious Bullion.
What's up, everybody?
And tonight, we're going to be talking about platinum. And this will be the first video in a series that we're going to do together around Platinum University. So that'll be the playlist that you guys can look for. And today, this first video is going to be Platinum 101. And we're going to be talking about what is platinum. Is it a metal that you should be stacking? Is it one that you can stack? What's the price of it? What's a good price to purchase at? What kind of forms does it come in? And we're also going to be talking a little bit about just some brief history around it too, to kind of familiarize you guys with it. So before we take too much time on intros, what I did want to do, Sean, is have you just give us a little bit of a quick intro of your experience with platinum. Have you been stacking it? Is it something that you've held on to for a while?
It's a good question. Appreciate you having me on. First of all, this is really cool. It's something I've always kind of really wanted to talk about. Everybody, I feel platinum's kind of one of those metals that everybody kind of like. It's like the third child in the family, doesn't get a whole lot of attention, but with time, just call it. Anyway. Um, yeah, platinum actually I have been as far stacking it. I would say maybe stacking it the last 2 years personally. I've been aware of it as a precious metals probably ever since my journey began approximately 12 years ago in the precious metals community. I would say probably my first, if you will, introduction to platinum was just seeing one of the Australian coins that I'll show later in the video. And I always wanted to have one for so many years, and it wasn't until recently I was able to actually not just pick up one, but two of them, and I was really happy to get it. Um, so yeah, it's a metal that I have been stacking for a little bit. I think there are many advantages to it and stuff, and I'm so happy to be willing to do this video to talk about it.
I think that's awesome. So when I look at like Kitco and I look for my news on what's happening to gold and silver, I notice right below that it says platinum.
Mhm.
Could you tell us a little bit about what is platinum?
Platinum actually is another precious metal, just like gold and silver. It's actually element number 78 on the periodic table. It's a transition metal. It actually sits right next door to gold. Gold is element number 79. It's one of those rare minerals that we find in the earth. Um, Platinum actually is more scarce than gold and silver. It's approximately about anywhere between 16 to 20 times more scarce than gold, and anywhere at the different mining season, anywhere between 80 to 120 times more rare than platinum. That goes on just as far as the annual mining out of the ground, as also as far as the amount that's already above ground as it is. To put it in perspective, if you will, as far as the amount of platinum that's been mined above the ground and the amount of gold that's been mined above the ground that we have currently floating around in our global economy, I would say that if you were to take an Olympic-sized pool and put all the platinum in there that we have, it would come to about your ankles. If you do the same thing with gold, you better get out that pool, because not only is it going to fill that entire pool worth, but it's going to
Yep.
fill additional two more. So three Olympic-sized pools filled with gold is the amount that we have above ground. So to say that there's less platinum than gold above, and as far as the scarcity goes, is an understatement.
I think it's important for people to realize that what you're talking about, it is more rare than gold and silver. So what's interesting about that I wanted to ask you is when you look at a silver coin that's 1 ounce, you typically, well, here in the U.S. you'll see that it's $1. In other countries you'll see that it's $1. Sometimes they may have it marked as $2, $5. I think of the different denominations I've seen for silver. And then when you look at a gold coin that's 1 ounce, you'll see a mark of $50 on that in the United States. And then that can vary in different countries as well. What's on the platinum coin, and why do you think that number is the number that is listed?
Most people, since they look at gold as being the number one top metal right now, they would think that would have the most, value, if you will. If you were to actually look at the platinum coin, it actually has $100 face value, so it's twice as much as far as the government backing value of that coin versus the actual metal. Where platinum right now is sitting at about a little under about half of what gold is right now. If you were to look at your little handy dandy little apps and your Kitco stuff and all of whoever else you check your precious metals with, platinum's right now sitting about $900 and an ounce, and gold's sitting at about roughly about, let's just say 2,040 for conversation right now. I don't know exactly to the dollar, so
Yeah, those are good enough.
yeah, close enough. Um, Typically, platinum over time was always valued higher than gold just because of the scarcity and everything else too. And it wasn't until about recent times till things started changing as far as the instability in the markets where people started taking more of a hedge in gold, if you will. There's reasons behind that. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not an expert on all this. I know a little bit, but don't hold me accountable. Like I said, I guess I'm not a financial expert. I got to throw out there for all the YouTube disclaimers and stuff like that. Anyway, um, yeah, it is very ironic that even in most other countries, like you were saying, how different countries have different face values, pretty close to the actual metals, like dollar for America and $2 for here. Um, Platinum actually has also too a higher value, or if not the same as gold in other countries as well. So it's interesting that is what it is, where the actual the cost of the metal, like I said, is about half what it is. Um, but typically platinum, when times are more at ease and things are more like stable in the markets, if you will,
Mhm.
across the globe, platinum will always have a higher thing. I have personal thoughts about platinum, if you will, that we will probably go into in later videos and stuff. Um, if you look at right now, we're about to cross over some different planes as far as platinum taking over palladium. But anyway, that's like for platinum
Yeah, we could do a
anniversary.
whole video on that.
Yeah.
So, kind of going off what you said too, and I think I believe this is the case. Is gold is known as the inflation hedge,
Hmm.
and we have just gone through double digit inflation. Um, if you look at the CPI, the CPI, as a lot of people like to call it, it'll show that it was single digit. But as far as I can do all my math on everything that I buy, it's been double digit for my family, and some things it's even been 100%. So it's doubled in price for things we were paying for.
Hmm.
um, Being here in California, a lot of things have gotten a lot more expensive. We're just about to go into a new form of inflation, which is going to be minimum wage going up to $20 per hour for people that work at fast food restaurants.
Yeah.
So, as an example, I've seen like a chicken bowl at Chipotle go from being about $6.50 up to $13.50. And I think we're going to probably see that starting to approach $20 as soon as that minimum wage goes into effect. And I think that happens in the month of February or March, if I remember correctly. So it hasn't happened yet, I don't believe. Prices haven't moved up at all, but I don't see how restaurants are going to be able to survive without raising their rates. And a lot of them, they can't just fire everybody; they have to keep their operation going. Places like McDonald's are putting more computers and robotics into place to try to offset that. But at the end of the day, prices are going to go up, and that's where I think gold is a winner right now. Is it's doing its job as an inflation
Hmm.
hedge, and I think that's one of the reasons we've seen platinum compared to gold prices drastically change over the last little while. But just to remind everybody, when you look at what's a value on the coin, when those coins were first minted, not the year that they were minted, but when those coins came out, that is the value that the United States put on that particular metal and that particular weight.
Correct.
And so at that point, that's where they really evaluated those coins. And so when you look at a gold coin saying $50 and it's trading today, or you can buy or sell it for roughly around 2040. And if you're buying it, actually, that's the spot price. If you're buying it, there's a premium on there right now, and you're seeing it closer to about 2140, 2150. So that's the inflation that's happened over time, and gold has been pretty good with keeping up with that. Platinum's a little bit different. So, Sean, what's platinum used for if it's not the best hedge for inflation?
Platinum's used in a lot of actually different avenues, actually, ironically. Typically, everybody usually knows it for being used in the catalytic converters of your cars and spark plugs and stuff like that. Um, it's also used in like I think they're called like hydrogen fuel cell batteries and stuff like that. So various different like tech stuff. I think you'll even find it somewhere on like computer stuff, little things that make the chips and stuff like that in there. Ironically, actually, if you guys didn't know about this, is actually part of the ingredients for chemotherapy treatments too, which is very ironic stuff. So it does have some applicable. Also, jewelry too. Obviously, jewelry is a big thing too. So um, yeah, it actually has some very different applicational use. I mean, it's used mostly in your catalytic converters in your cars, your spark plugs, to computer components, um, used in like hydrogen fuel batteries, stuff like that, which will be used for your future cars that people will want to put you in. Ironically, actually, if you didn't know about this, is also apparently one of the chemical ingredients used in chemotherapy treatments. So that's a really interesting tidbit for platinum. So I guess for all the chemo, they're going to need that platinum. So it's been used for a lot of different applications, mostly in like the industrial and even medical uses. So and also in jewelry too. Let's not forget jewelry; it's a big thing. So
Yep.
those three things I would say is the jewelry market, the motor industry, and the medical industry, and even probably I guess a fourth one would be the computer industry with all the different components they're going to use for like the little chips and microbes and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, that's really good. Thank you for sharing that with us. So what is it worth? We talked about it today being around $900, a little bit below that, I believe, today. But it's been a lot higher in the past. So what can this be worth? What can this metal be worth in, let's just say, a 1 ounce size? And let's call it a US coin, if that's how people are buying it today. Because I know we're going to talk a little bit more about that as well. But what is it worth today? Where do you think it could go? And what are some of the factors that might influence that price?
All good questions. I think appreciate you asking. I, right now, the current price of platinum is sitting around, just for conversation, about $900 for United States dollars for 1 ounce of platinum. 31.1 grams, troy ounce, just like any other metals. So it's about 900 grams an ounce. I mean, sorry, $900 an ounce. Um, it's right now nowhere near its all-time high. Its all-time high was basically back in March of 2008 when it peaked out about $2,270, $290. This is to say right around $2,300 was back then. So again, you also don't remind you about what else was happening during the '08 with all the different banking stuff. So when all that stuff started happening, things started getting kind of wonky with the price. That's why we're sitting at it about like, I don't know, what's it like a 65% drop basically over time. Um, but it is a pretty volatile metal. It does go up in price and stuff like that too. So um, it has seen much higher highs than it is now. As far as affecting the price go, I do see it kind of going up for a couple different reasons. Um, Number one, the fact that I spoke about earlier, but the fusion batteries and stuff. Right now, the average vehicle on the road can take anywhere, depending on what kind of vehicle you have, has about anywhere between 3 to 7 grams of platinum in the vehicle, with being the catalytic converter, the spark plugs, and if you were just to torch it all down in some great big furnace and purify the metal out, you get about 3 to 7 grams of platinum per car. With these so-called smart cars in the future, with all these like fusion batteries and stuff like that, it's going to take anywhere between 60 to 70 grams per vehicle to make these things. So you're talking anywhere between a 15 to 20% times more resources needed for platinum than for these new vehicles than you have for these older vehicles. Let's also keep in mind that there's also, there's 20 times more gold mined and about 100 times more silver mined per platinum. And you see the price of platinum where it's at, it's less than half of gold. So, and if you look at all your bullion coins, if we haven't mentioned this yet, if you look at all the platinum coins, they all hold a higher value than gold. or if not, in some other countries they have this exact same amount. Like right now, if you were to go look at the government backing values of all the
And just to clarify that, you mean the denomination
correct.
stamp on the coin?
Correct.
Yeah.
The denomination value that the United States says that per coin is worth as far as their backing goes starts with silver at $1, and then most people would think, oh, it'd be platinum, right, or something else. It's actually palladium at $25, and even when palladium was at worth more than gold, and the number one metal was sitting at over $3,300 at one time, it was still $25. That was it, $25. And
That
then
one we definitely want to be lower so that they stop stealing catalytic converters out of everybody's
yeah,
car.
that's that, and also I think they also wanted to harm Putin also because he had most of the palladium in the world, so it was a way to kind of cripple his economy and cripple his, if you will, purchasing power. But anyway, it's a different topic for a different video somewhere else. Um, got a little off track. Sorry. As far as the value going higher, I mean, like, I'm sorry, we were actually talking about the coins. So click. Um, so with the palladium having $25, then the next one people would think it would be like platinum because platinum's is whatever. Nope, it's not platinum. It's gold. Gold's $50 right now. American has been for almost over 100 years, or has been for a long time. Um, and right now, gold's the number one metal. Gold's sitting at about $2,040 for conversation, and no matter what, it's going to have a $50 denomination on it. But if you go look at your
Yep.
platinum eagles, they're $100. Platinum's sitting at $900. People are like, wait a minute, why is the platinum coin worth double than the American gold eagle? Doesn't make any sense when gold's worth more. But like you said, it goes back into when they first actually made. They didn't start making the actual platinum eagles in America until 1997. The other countries were on it back in like the late '80s and stuff like that. Canada in '88, I think the Chinese did theirs in like '86 or um, I can't remember, '82, or I can't remember exactly what year it was. But yeah, we didn't start making ours till '97. Back in '97, there's a way different economy than there was now. Things are a little bit more stable. So platinum was the big dog. Another up reason I see for another possible, this is a stretch for people, but just bear with me. This is just what I like, things that all the different angles that I see. Um, One of the things also that I think about platinum has potential is the fact that if you've been paying attention over the last couple of decades and stuff, and over the last couple of years, they've been trying to sneak in this whole like, let's print these two platinum coins in our treasury and lock them away and call them a bunch of like billions of dollars to kind of like fix our economy. Okay, people would think, well, why would you just make gold? Gold's worth more. So it's been rejected every time, but I don't think someone would just keep trying it. It didn't think there would be a way into it somehow. But um, to me, it just looks like there's going to be a lot of more call and demand for platinum because of what the new world's going to give us as far as this whole going green and kind of getting off their fossil fuel agenda and stuff like that, and putting them into this electronic stuff, what's going to be usually based on like minerals and elements that they're going to need, and they're going to need on a massive scale that we don't have above ground right now.
So, Sean, you were mentioning earlier too an idea of around bricks that might affect it too.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Appreciate that. As those the BRICS acronym is for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and then South Africa is the one we're going to focus on. South Africa, because the fact that approximately 90% of what's remaining in the earth under the cross of platinum is there. I know I kind of said that kind of weird and Yoda like, but 90% of the platinum that has not been mined out of the earth is sitting right now in South Africa. And about 70 to 75% of the global production, as far as the mining is going right now, is done out of South Africa. As far as the mining done in our country, Canada, China, and then Russia, and everywhere else around the world, total 70% of it's being done in South Africa. So if they're locking up all the platinum resources right there, you know, who knows what they're going to be able to do with that, precious metal that is, like I said, 20 times more rare than gold, 100 times more rare than silver. And it's ironic, actually, that I mentioned that, honestly, if you think about it, because if it's 100 more times rare than silver, you look at the denomination value, it's $1 on the silver and $100 on the platinum. Just little things I see along the way that, may not mean anything in the end, but maybe the little Hansel and Gretel clues that's like, hey, maybe you should pay attention. But
The day's gonna come when they're gonna reevaluate the metals based on whatever the current US currency is valuation. So the way things are going, the price will be very high for all these coins. Will we reset what the currency is worth at some point? Probably, and so it could be a little different. But I think that ratio is always going to stay. I think that ratio is probably always going to stay the same there, where they're going to value it more because of its rarity. It's really market conditions that kind of throw things out of whack. So, the last question I had for you, Sean, is when you're looking at for the people that are watching this, some of them may be thinking, "Hey, I want to get into purchasing some, platinum coins or bars or rounds. How do I get my hands on this?" So, what I'd love to do is hear a little bit more about what forms they come in, and if you could maybe show us a couple examples that you have, I think that would be helpful. And one thing I'll just throw out that you mentioned earlier, this is not financial advice. I'm not recommending that you go out and buy platinum. But I do want to provide this information for you so that you have some education and you have some ways of getting started. So I'll have some links down below for you guys on Platinum, a couple of places you can go get information. So down below, and then this is a series, right? So this is the first video of multiple that we're going to do around Platinum to help you understand it. I've already got my gold and silver ones that are out. I'll have those links at the end of the video so you can see them. But really, what we want to do is provide you guys with the information so you can determine and make the decision on your own whether this is a good strategy for you. So, Sean, share with us a little bit about the ways that you can purchase it, and then also some examples that you have. I think you had a few that you wanted to share.
sure. Obviously, like any precious metals, you can find them at mostly at your major bullion dealers online, and even your LCS. Most of your online bullion are going to hold and carry four of the six, if you will, top dog metals that are out there being traded, that being gold, silver, platinum, palladium. So most of your sites that have been mentioned and everybody knows about, you're going to be able to find it. Not all LCSs, but most LCSs will have it. Some of your smaller ones, you might have a hard time because it's not really something that you may see and come through the front door, or something that they really
Mhm.
don't just usually buy in their overall thing. But wouldn't be afraid to ask if you have an LCS nearby. Then they say, hey, we don't do platinum. Maybe get them to talk and see if they're willing to cut you in some buy, or say, hey, if you're at a show or if you're in your wholesaler, see if you're willing to pick me up. Let's say something like some of these. Um, Now, obviously, I have a gold bar. This is just for getting a bag easier to hold for camera. This is just more for like size comparison. So this is a 5 ounce gold bar, and along the side here are four 1 gram platinum bars by the PAMP. Same thing that they always do. They're all numbered and stuff. This is a yeah, sorry. This is a 5 gram bar of gold for size comparison, and then over here are 1 gram bars each. So it's kind of more for size comparison. This is more for like like fun play. Obviously, the smaller the metal, you're going to pay a higher premium. But it's just more an idea that they do. PAMP also will make platinum bars anywhere from 1 gram all the way up until 1 ounce, and I believe even higher up into 10 ounces. So they do make bars like this. Obviously, PAMP will have a higher premium, but some companies will also make PAMP bars, and sometimes bars, like anywhere else in coins, will be a cheaper way to go. But unfortunately, like the bars, the coins don't have the government backing that the coins do. So it depends on kind of where you feel with stuff and everything too. These, as far as the coins go, if I can try to show them all at one time in the light. I apologize. I can get this here for you guys. These are, and it's a platinum, correct. This is a coin that kind of started. This is the one that I saw when I my stacking journey before. Kind of just saw a picture of it. I don't remember exactly sure where. And it's my first kind of being aware to platinum and just seeing the coin. I just wanted to have one for years and finally picked one up. And then about a couple months later, they had one come in and I picked it up too. These are actually kind of rare. Actually, you usually don't really see these coins a whole lot, even on the I won't say any names, I'm not affiliated by anybody, but even some of the bigger dogs online, you have a hard time finding these platinum platypuses only because they only made them, I believe, between the years of 2011 and 2018, and I think they only made more than like 30,000 or more per year. Some years they made less, like 12,400 or so per year. Um, and then obviously these platinum kookaburras, these are 1/10 ounce platinum kookaburras, and they make about 15,000 of these per year too. So platinum coins are not normally minted as high as gold and silver coins. Um, just because also is because there's not a whole lot of demand in the market right now for it as there was silver and gold. Um, but exactly. So again, it's kind of like I said, it's the third child in the family. It's not really getting a whole lot of love. It's still there in the family. Everybody still loves it, but everybody's willing to give it the time that they'll give it the first and the second child, just like anything else. Um, but I do think that platinum has really high potential. So those are just a couple different idea. Sorry, go
I think, Sean, that's great. I mean, you don't see a lot of hand poured stuff in platinum because of the high melting point. Most people don't have the equipment to get that hot.
correct.
So most of what you're going to see is coming from a mint, or well, I guess it's all coming from a mint that I've seen so far. So, guys, this is Sean. Thank you for the time today. This is hitting off of 101. Um, Look at these two videos here. We're going to share with you a little bit about gold and silver here. So these are the other videos in the university series, and then look for the next video. We're going to be talking more about the price, where we think things are going price wise for platinum, as well as some strategy around that. How can you potentially either invest in platinum, or how can you stack it? So there's really two philosophies out there. There's people that are investing where they're buying it low, they think it's going to go higher, and there's the other people that are just stacking it, that are more concerned about how pricing is going to move over time, that everything's going to go up with it, and they hold it for long term. So until next time, peace out.